Good afternoon, Julieta and Alba. My name is Mark Werchnick. I will be your trainer today. I'm part of the account implementation team for Apple Leisure Group. And today we're going to be focusing on FunJet and basically everything bookings. How many of you, do you guys actually book any charter or exclusive nonstop vacation flights? Oh, okay. Awesome. So we'll touch base on those as well because if you're based in Peoria, you might have some customers that leave out of Rockford or O'Hare. So you'll probably have a couple of those. So we'll go over the benefits of those as well, of why you would want to book them on those specific flights compared to United, American, Delta, and some of the standard scheduled carriers. So why don't we go ahead and get started? We're going to go ahead and do just a basic booking for right now. So I will use Chicago O'Hare as an example because it's one of the largest airports in the country. Great options for the customers. So like any booking engine, you're just going to put in your origin. So you can put in the airport code if you know it, or if you just want to start typing out, let's say Chicago, it will give you the options. So you have Midway and O'Hare out of Chicago. So for today, let's go ahead and just do Cancun. And one thing I want to point out is you see 4 different airport codes for Cancun. And I kind of want to go over the differences with them. The first one is Cancun hotels only. So if you use the specific one that is Cancun and then / Cancun hotels, that means when you do your search, you're only going to pull hotels in that hotel zone. If you do Riviera Maya hotels, or CU3 is the airport code, it's only going to pull Riviera Maya hotels. And then CUN is going to be both of them. And then CZ1 is Cozumel via Cancun. So you'll pull flights over to Cancun, and then the hotels will be in Cozumel, and then there's a ferry and stuff that they'll have to get. The reason why I mention that is because, let's say you do use your filter and your customers are interested in just a hotel in the Cancun hotel zone. Down the road, if they make any modifications and they want to go to a hotel that may be in the Riviera Maya area, you won't be able to do any modifications to that area because you specifically booked it to filter out all those hotels. So for Cancun in specific, the best thing to do is use CUN as the airport code. So that's what we're going to use today. So you can get 4 rooms on a reservation or up to 8 passengers. That includes children. If you have any questions or you ever book infants, if you click on right here where it says booking an infant, it kind of gives you some information. So when you add a child in there, if you use a specific age, you're going to book a seat for the child. But we all know a lot of times somebody under the age of 2 might be on the lap of a parent. So you're going to want to use IN for infant. So just keep that in mind. You can book infants within the package. If you start selecting your dates, you can use this calendar right here and just move the arrow over to whatever you want. So I'm just going to do February 13th and let's say 7 nights. It'll auto-populate your return date. If you have a promotion code to add, this is where you can add it right here prior to your search. And for me, I always add the travel protection prior. Because when you quote a customer, it's a lot easier to remove pricings than it is to add pricing. And let's go ahead and just hit search. So that's probably the easiest thing we'll go over today is just that general book now button. All right, so let's wait for this to pull up. All right, it's thinking about it. There we go. So how it will look is when you pull it up, it will go to your hotels first. So have you guys been down to Riviera Maya or Cancun area at all by chance? Okay. Do you have a preference on hotels that you typically stay at, or? Fantastic choice. Okay. Okay. Both great options. I have not stayed at Paradisus, but I've stayed at Hard Rocks before, and I love them. I love the lively atmosphere. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I haven't moved it yet. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to see if you guys have been down to that destination and what your experience was so far down there. It's one of my favorite areas to go on vacation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, you don't have to leave the resort if you don't want to. I mean, the excursions are fantastic. It's just it's nice, relaxing, and the price point is great. And the service is fantastic. The food is wonderful. It's just really hard to beat going down to Mexico. So, and for me being only an hour away from Chicago, there's no better option for me because I can hop on our nonstop flights and go. So I just kind of I'm pulled up the hotel because when you do your search, it pulls the hotel first. It will tell you the hotel that you have, and you'll see that because it'll be highlighted blue and it'll say current selection. So you have a sort by option up here, where if you click on that down arrow, it gives you options to sort by. So you can sort by price point alphabetically, distance from the airport, so closest to the airport or furthest, location, or star rating, lowest to highest, highest to lowest. I actually like to use the filter on the left-hand side. So currently it shows 169 hotels. Do you guys see that? I highlighted it for you. Okay. So you can specifically put in a hotel name here where it says hotel name. So let's say Hard Rock, for example. If you start typing it out, if it's available, it'll pull below. So I can literally just select it and it'll filter to that specific property. If you do not want to filter or you want to remove your filter, just highlight it all, remove it, and hit find again. And it'll go back to all the hotels. You have this sliding price scale right here where you can, if your customers have a specific budget, you can use this scale to move it to what they want. So let's say they have a budget of right around 6,000. So there we go. It will narrow it down. So we had 160 plus hotels. Now it's down to 157. You can narrow it down by rating. So 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star. We do not offer 1-star properties. Hotel amenities, experience. So let's say me and my girlfriend want to go to an adults only property. I can click on where it says adults only, and it'll filter it from 157 down to 33 hotels. You also have some points of interest right here that you can select from. So if they want to be closer to Playa del Carmen, you can select Playa del Carmen, and it'll narrow it down to the hotels that are close to Playa del Carmen. So it makes your filtering options a lot quicker when you use that option, instead of just scrolling through every single one. So I'm going to remove my Playa del Carmen filter, so we have more options here. And let's just use Ryu for our example. So if you want to see the hotel profile, just click on the hotel name. And in the profile, you'll be able to see photos of the property. So you can scroll through those if you want by hitting the arrow, or they just automatically scroll through. Your current promotions for the property are below, and if you click on it, it'll give you the options for that specific promotion. If you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see a bunch of tabs here. So it's hotel details, amenities, accommodations. If you go through them, it'll tell you information. So like this specific one under hotel details, you can find advisories. So you have to have at least one person 21 years or older in the room during March and April. You have a $20 Mexican pesos eco tax, which comes to $1.10 a day roughly. That's payable directly to the hotel. You can click on hotel policies to get the hotel policies, such as spring break rules or a check-in policy, things like that. You can go under amenities, you can go under accommodations to see how the bedding is. So this specific junior suite is a garden view, and it comes with either 2 doubles or 1 king bed. Then it also gives you the occupancy, so you can get up to 3 adults in the room. So anything more than 3 adults, you won't be able to book this property. If you click on dining, it'll give you the dining options. Same thing, you can look at the activities that are offered and also any TripAdvisor reviews if you want it. If you want to expand your room categories and see what else is offered, there's a plus sign right next to the hotel. If you click on the plus sign, it'll expand all the room categories for you to select that are available. So it looks like we have a junior suite ocean view, and a suite ocean view. So they all come with a $35 spa credit currently, and all the other promotions that are in here. So like the honeymoon inclusion and stuff like that. Right here, you see something that says instant OTA price match. A lot of your customers probably do price shop comparing a FunJet booking to maybe, let's say, an Expedia. If you book this property and your dates match, your flights match, your class as a service match, everything will be auto-matched. So you don't really have to wait for it. So you can tell them, yeah, we'll match that price for you. If you match against one of those online tour operators, such as Expedia, Travelocity, Priceline, etc., it does cap the commission at 10%, so just keep that in mind. So let's say they want to go ahead and use this Junior Suite Ocean View. To select the room category, just hit select. And so from here, what it'll do is it'll kind of take you to your next screen, and it'll be your flights. So this specific Frontier flight is going to be our charter flight, or exclusive nonstop vacation flight. We call them both. They're going to be nonstop. They are going to be seats where us at Apple Leisure Group, we purchase these seats. So they're risk seats for us. If we don't sell them, we lose the money that we paid for the seat. So we always market those first. And you'll be able to tell if it's one of those specific flights by this red little C right here. And it'll say exclusive nonstop flights. Anything that is blue and underlined, you can click on it. So let's say I want to click on where it says flight number 44. It'll give you all the details of that specific flight. So it gives you the mileage, the duration, etc. Right here, you might see a pay monthly option. So I kind of want to touch base on the pay monthly option. It's called Uplift. So we use a third party. What it is the customers can apply. It's a soft credit check, and it'll pay their booking off in full. So you don't have to worry about getting deposit. You don't have to worry about going after the customers for final payment. It's booked, it's paid for, they're all set. If they do any modifications down the road, if it's an increase in cost, the customers will have to pay for it. If it's less, we would refund Uplift. The customer gets the refund from Uplift. The one nice thing about Uplift is it gives them a 12-month period to pay it off. So you might have customers that have an unexpected wedding in 2 weeks. Well, sometimes it's hard to come up with $1,500 when you don't plan for it. Well, they can use that Uplift option and pay it off within those 12 months. And the nice thing is, the average booking is about 13% higher in overall cost because they will upsell. They might go with private transfers compared to shared transfers, or they might get a higher room category because they can split that difference up between that 12 months. So just wanted to let you guys know about it because it's a great option to have. Have you guys always wondered what that pay monthly option is when you're in backs? But Uplift paid us, so your reservation's paid in full. If they don't pay Uplift, that's between them and Uplift. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about anything after they do it, essentially, unless they make changes. It's booked, it's paid for. Yeah, it could vary, but that will be the average, and sometimes that'll be less than a lot of people's credit cards. It's a soft credit check, so it won't really affect the credit score. Yep. Yeah, so it's not like going to a bank and applying for a loan where they actually do a hard credit check. It's just a soft check. So that's just one thing to kind of put in your back pocket because you might get those customers, well, I really can't pay for it when it's due at 45 days, things like that, where you can be like, well, we have this option where you can do a soft credit check and pay it over 12 months through Uplift. Basically a couple minutes. Yep. All right, so we have our air filters on the left-hand side too, so you can filter your flights down as well. If you have a specific flight number you're looking for, put the flight number in here. So if it's United Flight 123, just put 123 and it'll filter it down. You can search by departure time, so morning, afternoon, evening, or night. So let's say they want a morning flight. Okay, let's filter it down from the 70 plus flights down to 43. You can filter it by arrival time, in the morning, afternoon, evening, by the number of stops. So let's say they want nonstop, so it's going to filter it down from 43 down to 8. Or you have a specific airline you want to filter to, you can select your airline and it'll filter it down to there. So it'll just make things a little bit easier instead of scrolling through all the flights to see what the best options are for your customers. So basically you can filter to what they want. So in this case, let's say they're going to go with these Frontier exclusive nonstop flights. So while we're on the topic for those exclusive nonstop flights, because you guys are going through this implementation program, you are receiving the highest commission for international at 15%. So your air and hotel package would be at 15% commission. And let's compare that to United, which is big out of Chicago. So let's say you book a United flight. So United, you could get up to 5% on the airfare. Then you'll get the 15% on the land. So the potential for you guys to make more money is greater if you use these specific exclusive nonstop vacation flights. These exclusive nonstop flights, so it could be via Frontier, Viva Aerobus, it could be Allegiant, it could be Sun Country. It all depends on the origin and the specific flights. So anytime you see this red C right here, that's going to be the best option for you as far as commission. United's just a great carrier. It's a standard air carrier, so it's not going to be one where you're going to earn your 15% on your package. You possibly could earn up to 5% on the airfare, depending on if it's a bulk airfare or a published airfare. You'd still get the 15% on the hotel, but you're going to get 5. You could get up to 5% on the airfare. So you might get 0, you might get 5. So on your whole airfare and hotel package, you'll get 15% for the entire package. So it makes quite a bit of difference when it comes to commission. You'll get a lot more commission if you use these specific flights. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. You can pre-assign seats. So on these specific flights, we actually create a P&R form that they can take to Frontier's website and pay for their seats if they want. If they just do it at the airport, there's no charge. Or if they check in online the 24 hours, there's no charge. They'll just assign them for them. You can prepay your bags with Frontier, and it'll be a lesser cost if you do it prior. And I'll show you how to do that in a few seconds. So for example, if I didn't prepay my bags on this flight, it'll be $100, basically round trip. It per basically that's for just one check bag. Yep. So we have the option to prepay it, and it'll be $60 total round trip. With if you prepay the bags with FunJet, with these specific flights, it's going to be a reduced cost. So they'll save $20 each way. Okay. The profile. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So if you create a sales email and send it to your customers, they'll be able to see the hotel profile and everything. Yep, they'll be able to pull it up exactly like how you would see it. Yep. So you're just getting a little bit ahead of yourself, but we're going to cover that in just a few moments. So let's touch base on features. So I pre-selected our all-in-one travel protection because for me, it's always easier to quote a total cost saying, hey, this does include your all-in-one travel protection. It gives you a lower deposit. It's a cancel for any reason. Just less, you get your money back, less the cost of the travel protection. Rather than trying to add on the cost of it. So I always add it prior. So it's a cancel for any reason coverage is our all-in-one travel protection. The one thing it does not cover is hotels that are completely non-refundable once you book them. And the hotel will show you that if that is the case. So they're easy to point out. But if you want to remove it, you can click on remove right here. But what I want to do is I want to go into features. So let's click on features. And it'll pull up our features. So you can filter your features down to specifically what you want. So I have the all-in travel protection. I'm going to keep it on here. Let's say they want to upgrade their transfer to a private transfer. Okay, so let's take a look at our transfers. Go under ground transportation. Let's filter that. All right, so we have a shared transfer, so that can be up to 3 stops. a non-stop transfer, so that could be other couples or other families on your transfer. A private deluxe, which is typically like a Lincoln Navigator. You have your handicap access transfers, and then private transfers right here. So you can drop it down, you can get up to 6 people or 7 to 10. So I'm going to select the private transfer for $91. And so if you take a look at it, it's $91 round trip for the private transfer compared to $38. Okay, so it's a little bit more money, but it's going to make their lives a lot easier, and it's a better value because they're not going to stop anywhere. You're going to go through customs, go meet Amstar. They'll put you on your transfer ticket to your hotel, rather than possibly stopping up to 3 hotels and stuff like that. Total. Yep. It's basically round trip for the entire transfer. So it's $91 total. It's not a per person rate. What will happen? You can get up to 6 people on here for $91. Yes. And so it's if you have a family of 5, it's going to be probably almost the same cost possibly, or a very minimal upgrade charge. And basically, it's just you and your party getting on that transfer, going to your hotel. Yep, basically it's just you and your party going back to the hotel. So your features are going to be kind of a la carte. So if you want to add a feature, you're just going to have to hit add to cart. And then now it will be updated. Now I want to remove my initial transfer, so I'm just going to hit remove. Yep, and you can stop at 3 hotels on the way, up to 3 hotels on the way. The private transfer up to 6 passengers, it's still going to be on the van, but it's just you guys. The deluxe one is going to be that luxury car, so it could, like a Cadillac Escalade or Lincoln Navigator. So if you have a couple and the guy wants to wow his girlfriend or wife, you can use the deluxe transfer. So we have our itinerary set of how we want it. Now let's take a look at the breakdown and the pricings and everything. So this price stamp on your right-hand side will tell you the days from departure it is, the base package price. So the base package price would be air and hotel, because we chose an air and hotel package. If it was just land only, it would just be the land only cost. Then it'll split it down between adults and children. So in this case, we just have adults. It's $1696.22 per adult. Gives you your options. So options would be like any features, excursions, transfers, etc. It'll break down your travel protection cost. So it's $261.98 for the 2 of them. Your total package cost and your per person cost. If you want to see any included taxes and fees, you can click right here. And it'll give you a breakdown of your taxes and fees that are in the package. If you want to see your terms and conditions, you can click right here. Otherwise, you have to kind of review them before you make a reservation in the end. Additional baggage charges, so let's click on that. It'll take you to this page, and then there's the blue lettering underlined, which means you can click on it. So let's click on that. And what it'll do is it will take you to a different site. And from here, you can go find your carrier, click on the link, and it'll take you to the airline's policy. If they have an online check-in area on their website, if you click on that, it'll take you to their online check-in area. So you're just going to want to find your carrier, and it'll look at your bag policy. And it's alphabetical, so it's pretty easy to follow along with. All right, so next will be the email print itinerary button. So this is your email that you would send over to your customers. It's not your sales email, so they wouldn't be able to see the profile via this one. So the next one is your sales email. Have either of you kind of played along with the sales email option? Have you played around with the sales email? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of create a sales email here real quick. So to do that, you just what you can do is you can actually set up your own logo if you would like on your emails and everything like that. It would say the Fun Jet Vacations logo as well. Correct. Correct. So let's go ahead and hit create sales email. So you hit create sales email, it flips over to where it says preview sales email. Now what we have to do is select our components that we want. So because we have these Frontier flights on here, this is what's going to show up on the sales email. You can only get one option for flights. For hotels, you can get up to 6 hotels or 6 room categories. So you might do 2 hotels with three room categories each, or you can do 6 hotels or 1 hotel with 6 room categories. As long as it adds up to 6, that's the max that you can get. You can get up to 3 rental cars and 6 features. So you can get up to 6 hotels or room categories. So it won't matter if it's 1 hotel with 6 room categories, or 2 hotels with 3 room categories, or 6 hotels. So you can get a max of 6. You can get 3 rental car options, and then you can get up to 6 features on one email. So, yep, correct. So before, if you just do email print and you're going to send them options for, let's say, 3 hotels, you got to send 3 separate emails. This way you just send one. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my hotels because we want to add some hotels on here for the customers to choose from. So this is our a la carte option where let's add what we want on this email. So let's say they want that Junior Suite Ocean View room category. Right below the select button is where it says add to sales email. We're going to go ahead and add that. Now let's just go ahead and select some other hotels real quick. Let's see here. All right, Breathless. Let's click on Breathless, see what we got. All right, so let's put them in the Exhale Club Junior Suite Ocean View King. I'm going to add that to my sales email. All right, let's scroll down. Sorry, my computer's acting up a little bit, so just bear with me. And let's do Eldorado Seaside. Fantastic property. Eldorado probably has some of the best all-inclusive food I've ever had. So let's go ahead and add that to our sales email. So we selected 3 hotels. Now let's go ahead and add some features to our sales email. So I'm going to collapse this and now go to our features. So you can add your all-in-one travel protection. Oh, that's transfer. Don't want that because it filtered automatically there. So I'm going to remove my filter so I get all my options again. Travel protection I'll add to the sales email. Now let's see about transfers. Add that private transfer to the sales email. And anytime you see where it says flight options, let's go to flight options. These are going to be your fees that you can prepay. So it's $60 per person round trip for your check bag compared to $100 per person round trip if you do it with the airline directly. or a carry-on bag. And so carry-on bags are always going to be more expensive than the checked bags. Could be more, could be less. Correct. It could be more, could be less. It's all based off of what we are able to get with that specific carrier. So it could be $40. It could be $50. Yep. So you can prepay them. That wouldn't be a problem. They don't have to. They would just pay whatever the cost is at the airport, if that specific airline charges. So in this specific case, through us, you can get it at $60 round trip on these Frontier flights compared to $100 with the airline directly. So me personally, I would add that to my sales email and just explain, hey, this carrier charges, you're going to be looking at $100 round trip if you do it with them. So it shows them the value. So we selected our features that we want. So now to view it, we're going to go to preview sales email. So you can get up to 10 recipients on here. So I always recommend sending one to yourself. You can choose to write anything you want in this introduction. Here's your flight information. It'll tell you your check-in and check-out date. And here's our hotel options. So when you send this to the customer, they can click on it and they'll be able to see the hotel profile. It will put it in price point order, so least expensive to most. If you have the all-in-one travel protection in your cart, it will tell you what the all-in-one travel protection cost would be. And then if you scroll below, you'll be able to find your features. So it'll tell you the cost for the features. Same thing with the checked bags, transfers, and we added the all-in-one travel protection on here, so it shows the $261.98. The prices that you see up here next to the hotel is just for the air and hotel. So all of the features are going to be additional. And it does say that down here, where it says features, prices listed are not included. So your customers are going to be able to click on all these options and see the actual profile of every single one of them. So if they click on the all-in-one travel protection, they can see the benefits of the all-in-one travel protection. If they click on the hotel, they'll be able to see the hotel profile and all the details. You can also remove the pricings from your email, because a lot of times when you send a quote over to the customer, they'll price shop. If you click right here where it says show prices and remove that check mark, it will remove the pricings. So this way you can sell them on an overall experience rather than a pricing. So they can click on Breathless and be like, okay, I really like this Breathless property. Can you price it out for me? Sure, great. I'll be happy to. So that's a way that you... It depends on the customer. I mean, I can't really tell you how you want to go about pricings and everything with your customer, but it is an option to remove the pricings. And so they can just see some of the options that you picked out for, or the options that they picked. And then they can look at the profile, they can look at everything and be like, okay, this one fits me better. And then you could price it out for them. Makes things a little easier so they're not just looking at the overall cost, because they're looking at more of the overall value instead of the cost when you do it that way. So did you guys sign up for a GoFundJet site? All right, perfect. Because with FunJet, if you send them the sales email, they'll have a book now option. So you can send them this email, and they can book straight from this email. And it counts towards your numbers and everything like that. You get your commission, everything. So you can have a customer that 9 o'clock at night on a Friday, and the agency's closed over the weekend. You can send them this email, and they can click on it, and you still get credit for the sale instead of them having to wait till Monday, or if they didn't want to wait, possibly going to a different agency or just going online and doing it. So that's one of the cool things about the sales email. I would say a minimum of 3. So they have some options. Yeah, just a 3 at minimum. I mean, you can get up to 6 if you want. So, I mean, whatever you want to do, or whatever you feel is best for them, I guess. Yep. So here's your checkout button. We're not going to go to checkout quite yet. So the checkout button is going to be where you can proceed to add the names and everything. This booking administration button right here, let's click on it. This is where you can add an agency fee if you choose to. So you might add agency fees. Some people don't. It's really up to you, but you have that option. So let's say we want to add a $150 agency fee to here. In order to do it, you just type in 150 and hit set commission. All right, so here's our original amount. Right here it was $37.45, and it upped it to $38.95. So it went up $150. Anytime you add an agency fee, there is a 10% processing fee from us. So on $150, that would be $15. If it was $200, it would be $20. If it was $500, it would be $50. So that's why you won't see the commission go up in that complete amount. It'll go up that, less that 10% surcharge. So this went up $135 in commission. So make sure you utilize that at times if you choose to. So now let's say your customers want to price out a different date. So let's say they want to price out the week after. So let's go back to our search page. And let's do the 20th for 7 nights. I'm not going to select all the other components. I just kind of want to show you something that's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite features at Inbounds. All right, so just waiting for this to pull up. So what we're going to talk about is the compare itinerary option. So you're going to be able to pull each itinerary next to each other. You can get up to 3 of them. All right, so let's say from here, we selected everything that we want. Okay, great. Down below, it'll say recent searches. So I have 2 recent searches here. So itinerary 2 currently is the one I'm on. Itinerary 1 is the one that we previously had. Let's say you want to compare the 2 instead of going back and forth. You can click this compare button right here and compare the itineraries that you want. So down here it says compare 2 of 3. So you can get a max of 3. And then you can just hit compare. And next to each other, it'll give you the dates, the hotels, the flights, everything on your reservation. So right now we're working on a way that you can email this to your customers. But right now we don't have a way to do that. So you can just take a snip or a screenshot and send that to your customers saying like, hey, here you go. You could take a look at the differences in rates. And if you want to view your commission on them, it's just view administrative information. Or you can hide it by hitting hide administrative information. So that's one of my favorite features. Also, under your recent searches, there's a duplicate button. So if you click on duplicate, what it'll do is take you back to your search page. So this is going to be where you want to maybe compare different occupancies. So let's say they want to add a third adult. Okay, so once you hit search, it'll pull up all your components that you previously had on your previous search. So that way you don't have to go back in, select your flight, select your hotel, select your features. It'll automatically do it for you. So that'll make things a lot easier if you're looking to change occupancies. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It all depends on the destination. You're going to always want to get them on the reservation because of the fact, especially with international destinations like that have all-inclusive, there is a surcharge for that third person. So let's say you made a reservation for 2 people down to Mexico, all-inclusive property. If that third person just shows up, they're going to charge them whatever they want at the hotel. They can't just go into the room because there's food and beverages and everything involved. Domestically, a lot of places don't care. So they might go out to Nashville, Tennessee. Domestic hotels, a lot of the times you're just paying for the room. It doesn't matter if you have 1 person in there or 3 people. A lot of the times it's the same cost. So that might be different. Yeah, if they don't get put on the booking, yes. Yep. Yeah, essentially, if they're not on the reservation, yes, it's up to the hotel. They can. Mm-hmm. So, because we contract whether it's a single rate, double rate, triple rates, etc. So if you book the 3 adults with us, they're not going to have to pay when they get there. It's all prepaid. So it's always better to just have them on there. You can book infants on reservations here. Yep. So basically, since an infant is child, you would add however many children you want. So let's say it's just 3 adults and an infant. So we have 1 child going, but when you select the age, there's IN for infant. So that's how you book a lap child. If we book it where it's under 2 years old to be a lap child. If you put in 1, they're going to be charged a seat. Mm-hmm. But if you forget about it and you click on here where it says booking an infant, it'll tell you. Yeah. All right. So now let's say your customers aren't ready to do anything. You can save your specific itinerary if you want it. So in your searches, if you hit save, basically what it does is it saves what you were looking at. It doesn't hold the pricings or availability or anything. It'll just basically save what you were looking at, and you can create an itinerary name for it. So let's say Mexico in February. So Mexico, Feb. And then you can pull up that itinerary, and it saves for 14 days. So just remember you have that option. So now let's say we have everything that they want. So I'm going to go back to my first itinerary by just going to my recent searches and going to itinerary 1. Let's say this is the one that they want to book. So what we can do here is just go to checkout. And we're going to go ahead and actually make a booking. So if you scroll down, it'll tell you all the hotel advisories, so make sure you go over that with the customers. If you forget to add travel protection, it'll ask you for some type of option. So it's either A, you can add it here, or if you don't want it, you would have to decline it. So now we're going to add some names in here, so I'm just going to put my stuff in here. Alright, so passenger 1's information is in there. If they have frequent flyer information with the airlines, you can enter it here by just clicking on that. So if they had a Frontier frequent flyer number, you can put it in here. The TSA privacy information, you do not have to add if you don't want to. If they don't have it, you don't have to add it. So let's take a look here. Let's go here, select some random dates for passenger 2. Alright, so next we're under itinerary tools. So special service requests, I kind of want to point out, it's always best to do them at time of booking. Because there's a lot of hotels and a lot of airlines that are just all direct link. So set up with a link that when you book it, it goes over to them directly. If you have one of those specific hotels, if you try to add a special service request after your booking, you won't be able to. Then you'd have to take time out and give us a call and everything like that. So let's go under hotel requests. Here's where you can make your bedding requests or anything that you want to put. So let's say they want king bed. Alright, so room request, not smoking. Special occasion, let's say it's a birthday. Let's say March 4th. Then when it gets sent over to the hotel, that'll go over to the hotel. Same thing with add-on requests. So one thing I'd want to point out is with a private transfer, you might have 2 reservations that are traveling together. You can cross-reference them. So you can say, booking XYZ user transfer. So then when Amstar, in this particular case, the ground handler, gets the manifest, they'll know that reservation is traveling with this, so they all get put on that same transfer. Now we go under payment information. So right up here it says a promo code. So if you forget to apply a promotion code, here's another opportunity for you to add it. So I want to split down this payment information kind of in 2, because some people do get confused with it. It shows your deposit due and the due date. All the way to the right tells you the deposits that's due. The final payment due date and the final payment date, so right here. And here's the full reservation cost. So up here it says total amounts of payments, so that's what you've applied to the reservation. One thing to keep in mind, if you apply that deposit of $361.98, it's not going to say 0 where it says deposit due. That will always stay that way, because that'll just tell you, okay, the deposit was due on this date and this is what the deposit due was. So as long as your payment totals here match up with this, you're fine. And then the balance due is just going to be the full reservation cost less what you've paid. Here's your credit card information. I'm not really going to go over too much over that. Then you have final payment options. So it's automatically selected to be manually. If you want to, you can click where it says schedule an email reminder. And from here, you can select a specific date to send a final payment reminder email. You can send that over to you or the customer. So let's say, because this was due on the 30th of December, which is a Monday. Let's say we want to schedule that for the 23rd. So you can send it to yourself, send it to your customers, be like, hey, just a reminder, payments due this date. And then you would put your email here. Here are your terms and conditions again. And you have to click right here where it says required to complete booking, that you've read and explained the terms and conditions to the customer. And now we can complete our reservation. So let's go ahead and complete that. So now, when it refreshes, it'll give us a reservation number. Right here. It's booking holding for 3 days. So now I kind of want to go back to the charter destination search. So if you're specifically looking for those exclusive nonstop flights, the ones that you make the most commission on, in your booking tool over here on your left-hand side, if you click where it says exclusive nonstop vacation flights, you can select your origin. So here's all where we fly from. So I'm going to use O'Hare again as an example. You can select your month. So let's do February 2020. Of course. Yes, we do offer Allegiant flights, not out of Chicago, but on some of the other origins. No, it's all gonna, it's everything that we offer, you'll see right in here. Yeah, so Sanford, so we don't offer any charters basically in the Southeast at all. It's all mainly Midwest and East Coast. So you can select your departure month, and again, you can select your number of rooms, adults, etc. And I just kind of want to show you how it looks. So once you hit search, I always do all for the length of stay, because what it'll do is it'll pull up the calendar for that specific month to every destination that that specific origin, in this case Chicago, offers. So let's take a look example for the 8th of February. Okay, so it goes to Cancun, Cozumel, Huatuco, Dominican Republic, Puerto Vallarta. And what you can do, so let's say they want to go to Dominican Republic, if you hover over it, it tells you the number of nights that are available. So this goes from 1 down to 21. And all you have to do to get to the search page is click on the number of nights that you want. So if they want 5 nights, just click on the 5 and it goes to your search page, to your next page where you look for the availability. So it just kind of makes things a little bit easier if you're specifically searching for these flights. Alright, so let's get back out of here. Alright, just gotta wait for it to, there we go. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to my Anchor store. I just want to touch base on retrieving reservations. So if you have a reservation that you have to pull up, you would go under retrieve reservations. Obviously, you can put in the reservation number. But in case you don't remember it or you forgot to write it down, you have all these other search options here. You can go by name, booking dates. So you can filter it to my reservations that I made last week. Departure dates, origin, destination. If you had a specific promotion code that you know you had on there, you could add that here, pull up all the reservations that have that promotion code. Or by the specific booking agent. So if you have administrative access, you'll be able to pull up all your agent's bookings. If you do not have admin access, you're only going to be able to pull up yours. Or booking status, which means is it active or canceled. So just keep in mind you have all these other options here to pull up reservations. So that was a basic booking. Now let's talk about some of the additional options that you can do as far as bookings. Yeah. Yep, I just selected all dates, and it pulls up that entire month. Then you can see what dates are available for those flights. Yep, it just gives you the option for the origin if you click on this exclusive nonstop flight option. Yep. Yep, so just select your origin and it'll pull up all the destinations that are offered out of that origin. Okay, so let's talk about an advanced search. You might have customers that specifically want 7 nights airfare and maybe 4 nights hotel, because maybe they have 3 nights free at the hotel or whatever it may be. You can do that. It's pretty simple. That would just be under advanced search right here. So if you click on advanced search, you'd put in your origin and destination as you normally would, but you have some Yep. So you're on your booking tool on your left-hand side. Right under search, it says advanced search. And what this does is it just gives you a couple different filter options to use. So from here, I can filter my flights. Okay. Great. You can filter your hotels. So if you want a hotel name, you could put that in there. I don't recommend filtering by hotel name because if it's not available, you won't be able to pull up any availability. So use your filter within the reservation search. But if your customers don't need 7 nights hotel, in this case, you can use this calendar here. So you can change your hotel check-in and check-out date. So let's say they need 7 nights for airfare. So we're going to put in 7 nights up here under a normal search. Let's say Cancun. Down here, it'll automatically put your full trip. But let's say they need to arrive on the 30th of November. All right, so just change it to the 30th, and when you search, it's going to be 7 nights airfare, 5 nights hotel. So just remember, if you have customers that have that you can do it. Next one I want to talk about is multiple destinations. Have either of you booked a multiple destination? Okay, well, we'll show you how to do it. So the most popular parts for multiple destinations are probably going to be Europe and Hawaii. We do offer South Pacific and Asia as well. Or you might have customers that want to book different properties in the same destination. You can do everything, all that, in multiple destinations. And that's just going to be right under where it says advanced search. So we're just going to click on where it says multiple destinations. And let's go ahead and build an itinerary. So you're going to select your region. So it's going to populate automatically for Hawaii, USA, Mexico, Caribbean, and Canada. You can see that there's Asia, Costa Rica, Europe, Panama, and South Pacific. So it basically covers most of the world. So for this case, I'm going to just do Hawaii, US, Mexico, Caribbean, Canada. So again, you can get 4 rooms, 8 passengers, including kids on your multiple destination. My recommendation is if you have multiple rooms, make separate reservations because modifications will be so much easier. So let's go out to Hawaii. So I'm going to put in an origin. So let's say San Francisco. I want to add travel protection. Let's select our date. Let's go March 18th for our outbound flight. So going to will be your first destination. So let's say they want to go to Honolulu. So again, if you type out Hawaii, it'll give you all destinations for Hawaii. So you can select that, or if you know the airport code, put the airport code in. So let's say they're doing 3 nights in Honolulu. You have the option to deselect components if it allows you to. So in this case, because we chose air and hotel, I can't remove airfare from my point of origin to the first destination. So that will permanently be on there. If they need a hotel, it's checkmarked. If they don't need it, just deselect it. Rental car, same thing. And again, you have your additional hotel filters here, if you need to offset it or anything like that. Destination 2 will be the second destination. So it's a lot easier if you look at things from point to point. So look at destination 2 of, okay, where am I going? So let's go over to Maui, so OGG. The multi-stop is a little slow right now. So destination 1 is Honolulu, destination 2 is Maui. Alright, so how am I going to get from Honolulu to Maui? Do I need a flight, yes or no? In this case, I need a flight, so I'll keep that selected. You might have cases where you don't need it, where you can just hit deselect it, so no flight. Do I need a hotel, yes or no? If you don't need the hotel, deselect it. Same thing with rental car. Also, in the multiple destination function, you have the opportunity to change your return city. That's something that we call an open jaw. So you're only going to be able to do that within the multiple destinations. So let's say they need to go back to Los Angeles. So I'm just going to remove San Francisco and type in Los Angeles. And now I can hit my search and go through all my components. So if you just look at it kind of point to point, it makes things a little easier. And you can get as many destinations as you want on here by just clicking on Add Destination if they need an additional one. So let's say you are looking to add a destination. I clicked on the Add Additional Destination. Or if they need to remove it, okay, let's remove it. So that's how you're going to build a multi-stop. It's not overly complicated. It's just when you get a bunch of different destinations, once you get more than like 3 of them, it kind of can get overwhelming as far as, okay, I'm looking at this as an overall whole. I got 3, 4, 5 destinations. What do I all need? Just look at it as each destination. It makes things easier. Do either of you guys book cruises? Okay. Okay. Well, there's a lot of people that do book cruises. We don't, at FunJet, we do not. But we can do something called a pre and post cruise booking. So essentially what that would be is your flights for your entire duration. You would book 1 night hotel pre-cruise, so the night before the cruise, and 1 night after the cruise. So it used to be where you would have to book all that separately, or maybe direct the customers to book your flights directly with the airline, book the hotel directly with the hotel. You don't have to do that. You can do it in the multi-stop function. That way you get your commission percentage and you get that booking. And you can also add the value by adding that all-in-one travel protection, because we all know cruises don't always go, so they might cancel. Well, this way you can cancel the air and the 1 night hotel packages, and they would get their money back less that coverage. And it's as simple as just making 3 destinations. So I'm going to add that 3rd destination back. Since we don't offer cruises, I'm going to show you how to book a pre and post cruise. So you're booking the airfare that the customers need, and you're booking that one night prior to the cruise that they need, and one night after the cruise that they need. Yep. However they book the cruise, they book that cruise. But you can at least get a package out of the hotel and the airport. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to use Hawaii as an example. So it could be whatever destination it is. So you have your departing city, so you're departing from. Destination 1 is going to be your pre-cruise destination. So all you would do is select one night hotel. Destination 2 is going to be what they're on for their cruise. So let's say they're going for a Hawaiian cruise for 10 nights. All right, so keep Maui, that's fine. Let's select the dates. And from here, just deselect all the components. So you're going to have a space of 10 days that there's nothing there. And then destination 3 would be your post-cruise. So if it's leaving back out of Honolulu, you would put in Honolulu again. Let's go ahead and add Honolulu just for that one night or however many nights they want. So let's do one night. And then look at what they need. So you don't need flight because they were on that cruise and they're getting dropped off in Honolulu. You need that hotel because they want to stay at that one night hotel. And then the rental car if they want a rental car or not. And then you would hit search and make your package that way. So basically this package would be airfare for that entire stay, one night hotel in Honolulu on the pre side of it, one night hotel in Honolulu on the back end side of it. So this way you don't have to miss out on any reservations if they're doing a cruise. You can get them their airfare and a hotel if they need it. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I mean, there's tons of options for you guys to make packages with whatever brand that you're looking to. So those are the booking functions that I wanted to go over with you. And a couple other things I kind of want to show you is, let's pull up my reservation that I created. I don't remember my reservation, but I know I created it today. So I'm going to select minimum booking date and maximum booking date today. Alright, so here's the reservation I made. And from here, you can just click on the reservation number and it's going to take you to that booking. Alright, so we pulled up our reservation. The few things I wanted to talk about were right up here, where it says refund request, price match, and payment request. Refund request, let's say you cancel your reservation in an unfortunate event your customers have to cancel. You can click on refund request, fill out this information, that sends it over to accounting so they can process the refund for you. That is, you'll be surprised how many people will call in for that and wait on hold when you can do it yourself. So making sure that you guys are able to do things in backs will make things more efficient on your behalf. That way you can get on to your next customer, make another booking, start making more money. So remember, you can request a refund in backs. Price match. If you click on price match, it gives you the information for price matches. So you'll need to send a screenshot over with all the hotel details, with the room type, air details such as fare and class of service, and timestamp and everything like that from the competitor. It tells you where to send it to, and you'll receive an email within 3 business hours. The one I really wanted to go over with you was payment request. So if you click on payment request, what this sends a payment link over to your customers that's good for 24 hours. So from here, I can send an email to myself or to my customer with a link. So that link there, they can click on it and make payment. So you don't physically have to get the credit card information from the customers and make payment. They do it on their end. So I can probably send it over to me. Let's do that real quick. So let me send the email to myself. All right, just pull it up. Here's what the email will look like. It'll tell you where it's coming from. It'll tell you the customer's name. And it says payment was required. And then from here, you just click on the link and you can add the payment in there. So that's what the email will look like. Nothing fancy. But it makes things easier for you where you don't have to be in the office to take payment or whatever it may be. And it's good for 24 hours. If it's outside of that 24 hours, you can just resend it. So that's a great option for you on a Friday evening to send to your customers, hey, payment's due by tomorrow. You click on it. If you don't make payments, either A, the reservation will cancel, or if it's got an extended option, B, you would just go in and resend a new link. Correct. It would just be a normal 24-hour period, not business days. Then it would be good till Sunday. Then if you sent it on a Sunday, it would be good till Monday at the time you sent it. It all depends. Some carriers you can do basically up until like 1 day prior. Some of them are 4 business days. So Frontier, I believe, is up to 4 business days because we have to create an airline confirmation number. And so we set it at that because let's say they booked on a Friday. Well, they're not going to get that confirmation number in time by the time they leave on Monday. So typically, anytime outside of 4 days, I would say is safe. Yep, 4 business days. For maybe I misunderstood the question. Okay, yes. So they can make payments every week for $300 if they want. It doesn't matter. As long as the final is paid by that date, it's not a big deal. Yep. Yep. So as long as they pay this deposit, so let's say in this case they pay that $361.98. Okay, they're good until the 30th of December. Yep, he would just pay what if there's a brand fee involved, maybe it's $25. That would be added to the reservation, and then when they pay it off, they would just pay that total too. So I mean, as long as final payment is in-house by 45 days prior, we don't care. As long as that deposit is satisfied, you might, if it's some reservations, you might have to pay it in full within 24 hours. Some may require payment same day. But once you have that deposit on there, yep, it depends on the type of package it is, like the components. Yep, but this is not through Uplift. This one's just normal. If the customer chose Uplift, their reservation would be paid in full. Yep. It all depends on the type of package. It really would depend. So they may have a published airfare and a hotel that's non-refundable. Well, that might require deposit, like full payment right up front. So it all depends on the type of package. So typically with these charters and bulk scheduled airfare, you have 3 days typically. If it's inside of the 45 days, you'll get a 24-hour notice. Typically with scheduled airfare, you'll get a 24-hour hold. And if it's within 45 days, it would be typically a 24-hour hold as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. It would tell you here's what the deposit is due. Here's what the final is due. If there is no deposit requirement, so because we require payment at 45 days prior, if there is no deposit requirement and it requires full payment, you won't see a deposit option. You'll just see full payment. But it tells you all that right there. Yeah, well, basically what it would do is, if they paid this deposit, it would show payments of $361.98 here, and then the balance would be whatever that amount is less that deposit paid. From there, this will not change. Payment would still be due by the 30th of December. So it doesn't matter how the customers could pay that balance on the 30th of December. They could pay it on the 30th of November. They can pay $300 until that. It doesn't matter. It's just as long as it. Yep. So they would just pay whatever it is. Yeah. So we don't care how it happens, as long as payment's in by that date. We don't care. And then if they don't pay by the 30th of December, then you'll start getting past due notices, and then eventually they'll tell you a final date of when it's canceled, and then the customers are going to be out whatever money they paid, essentially. So whatever penalties are on the reservation will be applied. No. No. So if in this case they didn't make any additional payments, and it's January 7th and we cancel the reservation, they would get a refund of $100 because we would keep that travel protection. So they would just get a refund back to their credit card for that $100. That doesn't affect their credit or anything. There's no credit or anything like that when you make a reservation with us. It might affect their credit if they don't make payments, if they use the uplift option. No, he's not. He would just be charged whatever penalty. So if there's airline penalties, there would be airline penalties assessed. If yeah, if they have the all-in-one travel protection, it wouldn't. Yeah, if let's say it was a published air ticket and there's no travel protection, okay, we're canceling it. You have this airline ticket to use for 1 year. There's a $200 fee to reuse it. Simple as that. If there's a available money to refund, it'll get refunded. If not, then it just stays on the reservation. Yeah. 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 So that's why we offer that travel protection. Is, hey, you don't have to. You can get a refund back to your former payment. You don't have that. You don't have to make sure you use your ticket within 1 year and pay an additional $200 per person change fee or whatever it may be. You get a refund of the trip less that travel protection cost. Simple as that. Yep, so non-refundable, but it would still cover the airfare cost. So you still have that option, but it also gives you the option to upgrade the customer to a refundable option to where it would cover it. So, I mean, there's ways that you can get it so the customer's entire package is covered. Or they're on their way to their airport and one person's sick and they can't go anymore. Okay, call in, cancel the reservation. You get a refund less that travel protection. Yeah, as long as the booking is canceled prior to departure and they have travel protection, they'll get a refund less that travel protection unless there's any one-off scenarios like that pre-purchase non-refundable hotel or something like that. Yeah, so before we wrap up, I just kind of want to show you something. In your FunJet Vacations page, if you go under Education and Education Campus, it takes you to our education pages. So if you want to learn additional trainings or anything, like live webinars that we host, you can click on the calendar of learning events. And from here, you would hit view calendar, and you'll be able to see upcoming webinars that are being offered. So let's say you're interested in diamond resorts in Hawaii. Okay, you can register and attend that webinar. Or let's say you forget how to do something within VAX. So let's click on Education Campus again under Self-Help Library. There's all these different things in here. So let's say you forget how to compare your itineraries. All right, so let's take a look in here. Okay, building an itinerary. Compare itineraries. Okay. It gives you a quick 2-3 minute video, or you can get step-by-step documents instructions on how to do it. So you have all this information in here of how to do things in VAX as well. So make sure you use this. I'll include, when I send you an email, I'll include this education page as well. It's there for you of anything that you want to know, essentially. If you have more, yeah. We do offer groups, and so that will be your next training. So after we're done today, Anthony is our group specialist, and he'll go over with you the different types of groups. So we offer a traditional contracted group, which you actually sign a contract and stuff, or we offer a Groups Your Way, which is the one where you just need a minimum of 5 rooms. You get a promotion code that gives the customers a discount and then possibly some additional benefits. The only difference with that is it's all FIT, so it's like going into VAX and making a reservation. So it doesn't lock in any inventory or anything. So those rates can fluctuate and stuff like that. But he'll go over all that with you. And he'll be included on the email that I send over to you guys. So he'll reach out and work on setting up dates and times and stuff like that for your next training. So I don't have anything else for you. Do you guys have any additional questions? It's going to be the same across, same across all of our brands. Yep, so it's this, the booking processes and the payment processes are the same whether you use us at FunJet, Apple Vacations, Travel Impressions, Southwest Vacations, United Vacations, or Blue Sky Tours. So we're all one company, so the payment policies are all the same. Mm-hmm. Well, if they don't have travel protection, depending on what's on the reservation for payment, they still could be due a refund. You would just want to take a look at the terms and conditions on what it may be. Yeah, so they may have a non-refundable air ticket, but the hotel still may be refundable. The brands will charge a fee. So if it's a published airfare without travel protection, example, 30 days out. All right, so your air is non-refundable but reusable. There would be a $50 per person brand fee, and the rest would be refunded. Well, you can always request the refund. If there is no refund due, accounting will just send it back saying no refund is due. So there is a place. Yeah, they will tell you. So if we go back into FunJet, under travel info, and if you click on payment plans, it will tell you deposit rules, whether it's with the exclusive nonstop flights, whether it's with scheduled airfare, land only. It'll also tell you basically any penalties without travel protection. Like for, let's say, hotel only, anything 2+ days is $50 per person for the brand fee. And then if the hotel has any penalties. So if there's no hotel penalties, they'll just be charged the $50 per person. At 1 day prior to departure, it would be non-refundable without travel protection. Scheduled airfare, same thing. 2+ days, $50 per person, plus whatever the air penalties are. Inside of 1 day prior to departure, it's non-refundable, but they can still use their air ticket. They just wouldn't get a refund on the land portion. Exclusive nonstop flights, 45+ days, $50 per person. And if any hotel penalties, 31 to 44 days, it's $125 per person, plus whatever hotel penalties or feature penalties. Inside of 30 days, it would basically be non-refundable because we're going to have a hard time reselling those air seats, so we're going to be out the money. So this is without. Mm-hmm. Yep, so it gives you an area where you can find the terms and conditions too. And then also deposit rules. And that's just under travel information and payment plans. Yeah, so most of the information that you will need is going to be within the pages. This also has more information on Uplift if you're curious about it or your customers are curious on it. It's just right up here at top. So any information that you essentially need are there. And we also have call center people if you don't see the information in VAX either. Awesome. Yeah. And they can then go and make another one. The reason why I say that is because of modification purposes. Because down the road, if your customers have to modify, it's a lot easier if it's just 1 room on the reservation rather than 2 rooms on the reservation. But I mean, you still can book two rooms on one package if you want. It's just down the road, if there are any changes or anything, it's just a lot more difficult. Where things might have to be canceled behind the scenes, not updated on the reservation, etc., etc. So it just makes things a little easier. Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah, the only time that it's really going to make too much of a difference is if you choose something called a mystery deal. Mystery deal hotels are essentially hotels that we have an abundance of allotment that you don't know what hotel it is until about 3 days prior to departure. If you have multiple rooms that are doing that type of hotel, then yes, then they'll be staying at the same hotel. So that's really going to be the only time it's going to make much of a difference. Because we can always cross-reference reservations if you want hotels to have rooms next to each other, or see if there's a connecting room or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter if it's on one reservation or two. If the hotel offers a connecting room in Vax, it'll give you that option to book it in Vax, and then you wouldn't even need to book 2 rooms. Some hotels offer it specifically, so like Ryu, for example, they have a connecting room category that you can book in Vax. So, some hotels like Barcelo, they offer them. They don't offer them through tour operators, but you can get them for $70 per night. And then we would confirm that with the hotel and just adjust the reservation. You just won't be able to book it in Vax. So it doesn't matter if it's on 1 reservation or 2 reservations, so that wouldn't make a big deal. It's just our recommendation is if you have multiple rooms, make different two separate reservations for 2 rooms. But it doesn't mean you have to. It's just our recommendation. It just makes things easier for us if you have to modify it. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. So then what I'll do from here is I will go ahead. I'll start creating the recording link. Because the training was a little bit longer than the last one, it's going to take probably about an hour for it and everything. But I'll get that sent over to you this afternoon, and I will include Anthony on the email, and he'll go on top of that email and work with you guys to set up new dates and times for your next group training. Oh, my pleasure. It was a pleasure to talk to you guys and meet you guys. And you have my email. If you need anything, feel free and reach out. I'm always here for you. Awesome. Thank you guys so much, and have a great rest of your afternoon. I will. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.